Hello and welcome to the Western Association for College Admission Counseling College Fair. We're so excited to have you participating in this event. We have some fantastic schools here with us today. Each will have 6 minutes to share more about their institution, but will be around for the entire time. My name is Jenny and I will be your facilitator. Before we get started, I have a few housekeeping items. Your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. However, you can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. If you like to specify a question to a school, you can put the name of the school so they know to answer that question, or you can ask a question of all schools as well. This is just one of many different sessions happening, so be sure to check out the schedule on the website. This presentation is being recorded and will be available at strivescan.com/WACAC. I'd like to now turn it over to our first school, University of Nevada, Reno.
Right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this evening. So my name is Shaylor. I am an admissions counselor with the University of Nevada, Reno. I am based in the Sacramento area. So if that's you in NorCal, great. I would probably be a good contact for you moving forward. But do take note of my contact info. You're welcome to reach out at any time if you have questions after this presentation as well. To kind of give an overview of the university, we're located in Reno. So we're going to be in northern Nevada, about 45 minutes from Lake Tahoe. We have about 20,000 students on campus, and we've got a lot of really cool things going on. Notably, we do have 4 seasons. I know that lots of people are experiencing weather right now, but we do have a really beautiful winter. We have a true fall and true spring on our campus. We have a new engineering building that opened about 3 years ago. We have museums and galleries. We not only just have sciences, but we invest in the arts. And really new for us about a year or so, we do have a Lake Tahoe University. So what was Sierra Nevada University is now an extension of our campus. So if you're interested in not only just being 45 minutes to Lake Tahoe, but maybe doing a full semester up there, there's going to be that opportunity on our campus too. Of note, we are going to be a Tier 1 research institution. So that means that as early as your freshman year, you're able to engage in research, and you can definitely get published as an undergraduate with us. That could be alongside your professor. That could also be pursuing your own research as well. And the nice thing is that even though we're about 20,000 students in total, we still have a good 17-to-1 student to faculty ratio. So in those upper division classes, you're definitely going to have that personalized experience with your professors. And we're going to have that large school experience too. So you're going to get lots of different club opportunities, about 250 different ones. We have over 500 different academic majors and programs, minor certificates, master's degrees. We have a study abroad program housed on our campus that a lot of students on the West Coast do utilize. We have Division I athletics. We are part of the Mountain West Conference. We do have an honors college. And especially for those coming from California specifically, there's not going to be that level of impaction for majors specifically. So if you meet general admissions requirements, our majors are going to be fair game to you. And we do have the Western Undergraduate Exchange Program for those students who are coming from California. If you're going to be a student coming from Nevada, you're going to get in-state tuition. So that's going to be a little bit different and a great way to save for you as well. So we're taking a look at what type of programs we have on campus. We have about 13 different academic colleges. And as I was saying earlier, they truly do range in variety. So we really got everything from engineering to graphic design to a little bit of everything in between. We do have a medical school on our campus. We have a nursing program. It's not going to be direct entry. You are going to be a pre-nursing student, but we do have 94 students that are accepted into our nursing program every fall and spring. So it's pretty excellent when you compare that to a lot of other different programs. We do also have a really phenomenal journalism program on campus. We have a really robust College of Business where you can do international business, study for about 1 week abroad and get a full class done out there. And so just in the effort of time, just know we have a lot of different programs. We have quite a wide variety, and I'm happy to answer anything more in depth in the Q&A later tonight. For those interested in those pre-professional programs, we do have lots of different opportunities for that. So the nice thing is that you don't have to be a specific major. You have access to a pre-professional advisor that assists you in the process of completing those prerequisites for that program of interest. So say, for example, you'd like to be a doctor. You can absolutely be a biology major, a chemistry major, or a biochemistry and molecular biology major on our campus, but you can also be a dance major. And the cool thing is it offers you that flexibility to study what you're passionate and interested in, but also still meet separately as someone who specializes in applying to medical school and ensuring maybe you pick up a minor in an area of interest that fulfills those prerequisites. And there's no separate application for these programs either as well. Taking a little bit of a deeper dive into what our campus culture is like, we're really big in the outdoors, especially being so close to Lake Tahoe and being in that upper desert mountainous landscape. And we do have a lot of different clubs that cater to that, but also other things as well. So we do have Greek life on campus, but outside of Division I athletics, we have intramural sports. We also have club sports. If you do want to still travel and compete, but not necessarily be that Division I athlete, it makes sure that a school is going to be your first priority on our campus. We're also a diverse campus as well. 50% of our students of our incoming class last year for our students of color. And we're always growing from where our states are being represented. California is definitely going to be #1 for out of state. Nevadans are also going to definitely be prime versus #1. And we do have all 50 states represented in at least 89 different countries per semester in a year as well. As far as making sure our students are getting access to those jobs and internship experience, we have at least 4 different career fairs a semester. They range in variety, they range in how many different employers we're bringing, but we're looking at about 70 different employers per fair. And these are examples of employers that have been to our campus, they've advertised their jobs and internships and hired our students as well. If we're taking a look at these listings here, not all of these companies are traveling from far away to come to us. In fact, we have a Tesla Gigafactory only a half an hour away from campus. Microsoft, IGT have homes in the Reno area. And of course, again, being close to the great outdoors, there's great opportunities for working in Forest Servicery. We do have our educators trained in the Washoe County School District, and we have lots of different local startups that are all really coming outside of the university as well. And to note, we are the only university in 200 miles, so there's going to be a lot less competition for these jobs as well. We're really going to be those students who are getting those jobs and opportunities. And many of our graduates are either employed, volunteering in the military, or continuing their education within 6 months, about 87% of them. Of note, we're only about one of a few universities in the nation who have a partnership with Apple where every single incoming student does get an iPad Air and technology training to utilize that. So there's nothing additional that you're paying for. Essentially, if you come to our campus, you're moving in, you're going to be receiving that technology. And as long as you graduate, you're going to be good to go. And as we're kind of going forward, just taking a look at what our other different opportunities are, I'll make sure that my information is up there and I'll head on over to the rest of the bulk. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Our institutions here will put their info in the chat, but if you do have any questions that you want to ask tonight, please feel free to put it in the Q&A and they'll be more than happy to answer them at any point during the presentations tonight. Up next is University of Redlands.
Thank you for that, Jenny. Hi, everyone. My name is Ryan Donahue. I'm representing the University of Redlands today. Give me 1 second while I share my presentation. So just so y'all know, University of Redlands, we are located in Redlands, California. That's about an hour east of Los Angeles. So how we are a small university, around 2,300 students total. That is a big part of our academic experience. Excuse me for that really quick. So this just shows you a little bit of a map about where we are. Downtown Redlands is about a mile from campus, so that's a really nice place that students like to hang out, but we are within an hour of the beach, the mountains, Joshua Tree National Parks. There's a lot of great stuff in the area, and our students tend to really take advantage of that outdoorsy environment. Like I said, we have around 2,300 students. We're a smaller private school. We're a residentially focused community where all of our students live on campus all 4 years. We're an inclusive, socially conscious community, and we'll get into a little bit more about what that means. But essentially, Redlands is a very accepting campus where we have all types of students from all over the country and all over the world. And, you know, they really come together to kind of build that community. So when it comes to things to get involved with, there are about 100 different clubs and organizations. We do have Greek life. There is a community service requirement that's about 80 hours over your 4 years. So not too hard to accomplish, but what it does is it gets people engaged on campus and encourages them to find different clubs to get, you know, participating in volunteering with. There are intramural and club sports, and I'll also talk about our athletics in a second. We also have a brand new esports program, or a brand new esports center. We've had the program for a few years, but there is an awesome esports center right on campus where students can treat it just as a gaming lounge during the day, And then the esports team uses it for their events and their tournaments and things like that. These are a few of our campus diversity and inclusion centers. Each one focuses on a different student population and about providing support for those students as they progress towards their degree. They're open to all students, but they each kind of have their own specialty as well. They're all housed in the same building on campus, so it's a really awesome space where students tend to go during the day just to hang out in between class and kind of connect with their peers. We are a D3 school, and athletics is a huge thing here at Redlands. About 20% of our students are student athletes. So there are a lot of different ways to get involved with that. If you are interested in that, definitely reach out to me at the end of this or send something to the coaches themselves. When it comes to housing at the University of Redlands, there are 14 different residential communities split between residence halls, which are typically larger buildings with more shared spaces, and suites, which are smaller buildings that have kind of 2 conjoined rooms that share space between those. We have a lot of support services for students, and we also kind of build it into your academic classwork that you are accessing those services right away. In your first semester, you have a class that's a first-year experience course with your professor, who is also your first academic advisor. So they get to know you really well, and it really helps kind of with that acclimation to college, to have that close connection to a faculty member, and to also have that support when it comes to not just choosing classes, but how to succeed in classes and what to do with the knowledge that you're actually learning from that, and how to kind of turn that towards your career interests and things along those lines. We have about 18 students on average per class. Our student to faculty ratio is about 13:1. So a big part of the Redlands experience is having those nice, small, personal classes where you really get to know your professors, and they really get to know you. So that's a huge bonus, because these people are experts in what they do, what they study, and they have mentored students for years. So you get a lot of benefit, not just in the classwork itself, but in the connections you make through that. This is a list of our different majors and minors. If it has an asterisk next to it, it's just available as a minor. One thing I want to point out, though, is the spatial studies program. So you might hear that Redlands is a spatial university, and what that means is that we are really proud of our GIS program, our geographic information systems. So how that works, we kind of implement or integrate it into pretty much every major. Whatever you're studying here, there is a way to use spatial reasoning and graphic or geographic information tools to enhance your research and the things that you're studying. So that's a huge part of the experience, as well as some of our programs where you can get an accelerated master's within 5 years. So for education, as well as our business MBA. A couple other programs I want to point out. We have a School of Performing Arts and Conservatory of Music. So that's awesome, not just for the students that are able to participate in that, but for everybody else on campus who gets to enjoy the benefit of going to those shows. And the Johnston Center for Integrative Studies is a completely interdisciplinary program where students can create their own majors. So you work with the faculty and you work with your advisors to design a program that you get to name yourself, where you choose the coursework dependent on what exactly you're trying to get at. We have a lot of career resources, and one thing I want to point out about that is that we have career resources for life. Once you're an alumni of the University of Redlands, you can always access our career center. You can always go to them for resume help, interview help, for these different tools that you can use to find resources, to find career opportunities. So they're always going to back you up. When it comes to scholarships and applying, you can still apply through the Common App for fall 24. Or you can, apply for future years. You don't have to do anything extra to apply for merit scholarships. All you got to do is submit that Common App. There are a couple additional awards, so like the Talent Scholarship, where there is an audition, or Creative Writing, where there is an essay component. If you have any questions after this, please let me know. My email is on the screen, and I'm going to turn it back over to Jenny.
Thank you so much. Yes, and if anyone has any questions, please feel free to use the Q&A function at any time. Up next, we have Great Basin College.
Awesome. Good evening, everyone. I am just pulling up my screen. My name is Dr. Christopher Sloot, and I have with me Tiffany Ross, who's our recruiter. I'm actually the director of our campus down here in Pahrump. So we're going to be talking to you specifically about Great Basin College, but also specifically about our campus in Pahrump. And might be a little bit different from some of the presentations that you're seeing today. I looked at a 6-minute time frame and I was like, man, there's just no way to fit everything we can possibly fit into 6 minutes. So we just kind of want to chat with you a little bit about what your intentions are in going to school. And I have my timer up, so we're going to make sure that we don't go over that. A little bit about me, or I should say a little bit about Tiffany first, if you want to start, and then I'll tell you about myself. I forgot you were first, Tiffany.
That's okay. I'm a recruiter at Great Basin. I'm also a small business owner, and I worked as a freelancer for decades. So I come at school and education from a very practical standpoint, which allows me to talk to a lot of students who are maybe not traditional learners or intend to go to college for heavy academia. So that's my background. Go ahead, Christopher.
And also, just want to mention too that Tiffany is really a leader in our community. She's really just a strong person, somebody that you should absolutely get to know. I'm the opposite of Tiffany. I got every useless degree under the sun. So went ahead and got my MBA, my PhD, licensed in education, a bunch of different majors and minors. Started my career in banking and internet. Became an academic dean in my late 20s because I decided not to make any money, but wanted to help people. We've got a lot of great things going on in Nevada. I'm sitting on some chambers, some chambers of commerce. I got to hang out with some of our Congress folks to really shape what Nevada education looks like. And I have a dog named Joker who hates when I wake him up in the morning for the sunrise, but we love to have a quick chat and a quick walk. So I wanted to chat with you today, and so did Tiffany, about some mistakes that college students typically make, or high school students typically make when choosing a college, kind of what was prevalent before, what we're looking at in today's market, and then what those results are. So we're going to start with me. I'm a huge fan of learning from mistakes. So you can't see it because I've got it blurred out, but if you look at the wall behind me, I've just got a ton of pieces of paper, from the PhD to the MBA to all these other things, certified here and certified there. I remember two stories that might interest you. I remember when I looked at a big state institution when I was back in New York, where I grew up, and I looked at this really, really big state school that my brother had gone to, and man, they had their own Taco Bell and their own Burger King and their own Pizza Hut, and I was like, wow, what a cool place. But I'm never going to go here because it's enormous. I'll get lost. I'll never have a voice. So I decided to go to a really small private school in upstate New York, and it was a great decision. However, I wouldn't have made that decision today because that particular school cost 5 times more than the state school that my brother had chosen. Back then, in the 80s and 90s, you really started to look at, and that's how old I am, you really started to look at schools for, what the brand was, and kind of had this like limitless success. You can get a degree in just about anything and move into a job, right? Your job was just to learn. Today's market is a little bit different, and I'm going to let Tiffany talk to you a little bit about how folks should be choosing their colleges today.
Right. So there's a lot going on today with education. First of all, costs are rising, and the job market, we have a lot of stagnated salaries. So what has happened is there's a rise in community colleges and certificate programs, as well as people going back to school while they're working. And what attracted me to Great Basin, and why I applied to a community college and technical school, even though I have a master's degree and I have experience in many different fields, was because I love the pragmatism of it. The money you spend on your education goes straight into your job. It's much more affordable, and it turns into a real practical skill that you can immediately start working with. And just to talk numbers a little bit, which we don't have on the slides right now, but Great Basin will save on average about 56% compared to other schools with similar degree programs. So you can easily afford to pay for tuition while you work and take the classes at your pace, including full degrees online. So if you are isolated in a remote area, or you are working in LA, but you don't want to spend LA prices on your education, you can take fully remote courses and remote bachelor's degrees at Great Basin. So about a semester's worth of classes may cost you less than $2,000 at Great Basin, and it could cost 3 to 4 times that at a four-year university where you would not have the time to hold a job. So it's that practical application of education where you still have the capability to succeed and to better yourself without coming out of school with massive amounts of debt to pay off. So you're studying for the job, not the other way around.
Awesome.
Okay.
And the
Yeah.
result really is to be in a position to actually gain employment. So we all know, right? Going to college is supposed to set you up for that three-letter word, right? I say joy, but apparently it's a job. So when you come to a place like Great Basin College, we're going to have a lot of those same degree programs that all the other colleges have that you're looking at. The difference is a $7,000 price tag per year versus $20,000, $30,000, $50,000, $60,000. Even if you just start with a 2-year program or a certificate of achievement in nursing, manufacturing, career and technical, welding, mining, whatever, you can go and spend the rest of your money on a last year. So I just want to put that idea in your brain for you. And that's it. And I'll hand it back over to Jenny.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Up next, we have Whittier College.
Hello, thanks for joining us tonight. Let me just share my screen here. But my name is Teresa. I'm the Associate Director of Admission for Whittier. You should be seeing my PowerPoint here about our institution. So I'm just going to jump right in due to the time constraint. So I'll talk a little bit about where we're located because a lot of people don't know where Whittier is, which is totally fine. But these are our most recent rankings with best colleges recently. So I think it's a great thing to consider that we're, in an upward trend moving forward. So I'll talk a little bit more about that. But this is where we're located. We're located in Southern California. We're in between downtown Los Angeles and Anaheim. So for those of you who are not familiar with Anaheim, that's where Disneyland is at. We're in a great location, not only to explore more of Southern California, but it's a great location for internship opportunities, interacting with your professors, all that great stuff, since it's a great centralized location in Southern California. And I haven't prefaced yet, but we are a 4-year private liberal arts institution. For those who don't know what liberal arts means, basically you're going to get a broader approach to education by focusing on the arts, sciences, humanities, and social sciences. So it's a more rounded education. So listed here are our academic programs. The ones that you do see in gold are our top 5 as of now. However, all of our programs are fantastic. Another great thing about them is they're not impacted. So if you want to start out, doing biology and you feel like you want to double major in something, you're more than welcome to do that. It's not going to impact your time at Whittier. I did see in the chat someone asked about, I believe, pre-health or physical therapy programs. Kinesiology is a popular one for students to enroll in to take. Another great thing about our institution is our science building is brand new. State-of-the-art equipment. It's great for those who are actually interested in gaining their degree in the STEM program. Of course, as I mentioned, our other programs are just sort of wonderful. Business administration is one of those in gold. But of course, another great one to point out is our Whittier Scholars Program. Basically, you're able to design your own major, you work with professors, build a proposal, ensure that'll transfer or translate after college. So a quick example, student wanted to do or specifically write graphic novels. So very fine-tuned. So she took courses from the English department and theater department. So what kind of intrigued me was the theater department piece. So she took that to help her with like costume design or, just design for her characters inside her novel. So that's just something to consider if there's something not fine-tuned you'd like to do. And nothing's impacted either, as I mentioned. So if you come in and you think you're going to do something, we don't base your admission decision either on your major. So again, it's easy to transfer to a new program. So now a little bit about our institution size. So I'm sure some of you are like, wow, 800 is very small. In my opinion, I think it's great, especially if the student needs extra support when they're transferring into, a 4-year institution. Class sizes are smaller. So again, they're getting that extra support in the classroom. more discussion based. They'll be able to know their professor on a professional level as well. There's the student faculty ratio is 10-1. Of course, I tell students that that may fluctuate just depending on what class you're enrolled in, such as a general ed course. Once you're in your major focus classes, it will be on that smaller scale. We pride ourselves, again, as I mentioned, we're in Southern California, we're very diverse. A little bit about our recent statistics from our last incoming class. So we do get a lot of students from California in our backyard. However, we do get a lot of students from the Mid-Atlantic area. We do get a lot of international students too. I know we just welcomed a couple students from Germany, so that was pretty cool interacting with them. So again, there's a lot of diversity happening on campus. We like to celebrate everyone. We do a lot of events throughout the year, so it's really cool to see what we do on campus. Briefly, I'll touch on our sports. So we're Division III, so you can do your academics as well as play any sport. Student organizations and clubs, so plenty to choose from if you're interested in getting involved on campus. We're on the Common App, so if you want to apply, you're more than welcome to continue to do that. A quick thing I want to mention is we are offering instant decision. So if you want to schedule an appointment, you just visit our website. You would just submit a personal statement, graded essay. After reviewing everything, giving you a brief interview, you would then receive your admission decision, and it's non-binding. So if you want to just do that, you're more than welcome to schedule that appointment with us. And then lastly, this is our merit-based scholarship. So all of our students will get something after they have been admitted to Whittier. So I think it's great just to see what merit-based scholarship you will earn. So that's just the range there for you. And there's our general admission email and our phone number. So if you want to schedule a tour or talk to one of your counselors, we'd be happy to do that. So thank you for your time and listening. I'm going to hand it back right over.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And if anyone here has questions, please feel free, utilize that Q&A function. You can ask questions of any of the schools here during these presentations. Up next, we have Pennsylvania State University.
Awesome. Thank you, Jenny. Hi, everybody. Thanks for sharing some time with us tonight. My name is Isabel. I work in the undergraduate admissions office at Penn State. If you are not too familiar with our university, we are a high energy university, large footprint, great academics, great research, and one of the most passionate, one of the most spirited, and one of the most powerful student and alumni bases in the country, if not the world. Just some quick hits about Penn State to start off. We really focus very heavily on preparing our students for very successful careers. Again, our alumni base is very successful. We want to keep it that way. So our career services throughout all of our campuses are wonderful resources to provide things like career fairs all throughout the year, hundreds of networking opportunities, things like resume building workshops, mock interviews, even providing headshots and professional wear for students to use as well. I'll talk about the academics here in the next slide, but I also wanted to say that we have really great study abroad opportunities, over 300 of them. We are getting our Penn Staters on every continent on the globe, including Antarctica. So if that is something that you're looking for in your college experience, we have week-long study abroad, we have semester-long, we have full year abroad experiences. So the world is your oyster at Penn State for sure. We are a tier 1 research university as well. So we allocate over $1 billion towards undergraduate research every year. As early as your very first year at Penn State, you are encouraged and supported to start participating in really cutting-edge, hands-on research with your professors. And despite being a large university, we do have a student to faculty ratio of 14-1. And all of these things plus more really kind of go a long way in making our student body really successful. So you can see here our 85% first year to second year, or sorry, our 93% first year to second year retention rate is 93%, and our 85% graduation rate are all well above the national average. So I'm really proud of the amount of support, the number of resources we provide to our students, again, with success in mind. Now, speaking about academics, with a large university comes a lot of academic options. So we have almost 300 majors that you can choose from. We also have a really wonderful undecided option as well. So that's a great opportunity for students who need maybe a little bit more time to explore, really find out what their great perfect fit is academically and professionally. I will say at Penn State, our most popular and hence our most competitive programs are going to be business, engineering, as well as our direct admit nursing program. But if you're interested in anything in the STEM fields and science and information sciences and technology, cybersecurity, education, communications, performing arts, liberal arts, creative arts, ag sciences, earth and mineral sciences, we literally have it all. I probably didn't even list everything there. We also have one of the top public honors colleges in the country, which is our Schreier Honors College, open to students of all majors, comes with a $5,000 annual scholarship for students who are admitted into the honors program their first year. And we also have some program-specific honors programs as well. So our business program has an honors program. We have the Paterno Fellows program in our liberal arts college. We have other honors programs specifically for STEM students. So lots of opportunities to really enhance your academic experience at Penn State. Now, outside of the classroom, I think this is really where Penn State stands out. We are an incredibly active, energetic, involved campus. So at our main campus, which is University Park, we have over 40,000 undergrads. It's a college town setting, so you're not going to be distracted by a big city nearby necessarily. Everything that you want to get involved in is right on campus or right nearby at downtown State College. We have over 1,000 student clubs, organizations, activities for you to join, whether it's a marching band, whether you want to participate in philanthropic organizations, whether you want to join affinity groups, entrepreneurial groups, whether you want to enhance your major with academic related clubs and orgs. There's so much for you to get involved in. We really want to make sure that the 4 years that we get to have with you is packed and is memorable and that you're getting as much out of it as possible. Now, oh, sorry, let me share my screen. Sorry, share my presentation again. I don't know what happened there. But just to give you a general idea, so this is Pennsylvania. We're out in the Mid-Atlantic Northeast region. Our neighbors, as you can see here, are New York, New Jersey, Maryland, DC, Virginia, West Virginia, and Ohio. Our main campus is this one right here in the center. Again, over 40,000 undergrads. But if you are a student who you feel like a smaller campus, maybe something like 3,000, 5,000 students might be more your speed, especially at the beginning. Or if you want the opportunity to start at a smaller campus for 2 years and save anywhere between like $10,000 to $14,000 per year, we do offer students the opportunity to start at a smaller campus for 2 years and then finish your degree at the main campus for your final 2 years. So that's what we call our 2+2 plan. If you want to find out more details about that, just chat with me after the presentation. I'm happy to answer some questions about that as well. So really quickly, our application requirements are very minimal. So all we need for a complete Penn State application is an online app. So either through the Common App or our My Penn State application, a self-reported academic record, optional test scores, and that's it. No essays, no letters of recommendation, no extracurriculars. So really nice, simple application to complete. Here are our middle 50% academic stats for our admitted students. Typically, this is also all on our website. And I want to thank you for your time this evening. I will put some contacts and some links in the chat and looking forward to chatting with you more. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And up next, we have Stony Brook University.
All right, hi guys. To bring it all home. So, hi, my name is Evelise, or more commonly known as Evie, and I represent Stony Brook University. What's up, Christopher? Nice to hear you talking about us a little bit earlier. We are one of the top public universities in New York, so we are probably the closest to New York City that you'll hear about. But us, Binghamton University, the borders with like Scranton, Pennsylvania, University of Buffalo and SUNY at Albany are the top 4 universities of the state system, very similar to you guys' UCs and Cal States out in California. We have about 18,000 undergrads, so we're about a mid-sized school. We're not the big powerhouse. I think Bing has us beat by like 2,000 students. So we're sitting right in the middle compared to all of my other colleagues that are here on the group today, which is kind of nice. It is a beautiful, entirely enclosed campus on Long Island. It's about an hour and a half outside of New York City. The very cool thing is that you can take the Long Island Railroad, which is a regional rail that we have right on campus. You don't have to take a cab, you don't have to take a car, a bus, or Uber. You can take that rail straight into Penn Station in downtown Manhattan and are able to really enjoy New York City and all that it has to offer, but still live on a very beautiful, classic traditional campus environment, which I really kind of love. We are one of the top 10 most diverse universities in the nation, which is great. We bring students from all over the nation. We're bringing about 300 international students in every year. The bulk of our students are coming in from New York because we are obviously a state school. Second biggest is Jersey, and the third biggest actually is coming from the West Coast. It's coming from California. That's, I think, partially my fault, and I'm not mad about it. Which is great to see. It's a great opportunity for students to really get out and try something different and have a lot to offer on the East Coast. So we do have about a 19-to-1 student faculty ratio. I believe my colleague over at UN Reno did touch on the fact that like some of the bigger introductory entry-level courses will start a bit on the bigger side, but literally as early as your sophomore years, those classes go from about 150 students down to 45, and they trill down to a much more specialized approach as you pick a focus, you pick a major, you pick a minor, you like teachers more specifically. So it does really overall have a 19-to-1 student faculty ratio. We have over 200 academic programs. The full list is on our website, and I'll put the link in the chat once I'm done here. The bulk of our majors are in the College of Arts and Sciences. I would like to point especially that the College of Engineering and Applied Sciences is our only set of impacted majors at the institution. So those programs, you have to apply for engineering, computer science, mechanical engineering, civil engineering, chemical engineering, biomedical, to be admitted into those programs. That is the only set of impacted majors we have at Stony Brook. Everything else is very much open, but it's still a very, very competitive set of programs. And we do have a little bit of everything for everybody. We also have a School of Nursing, Social Welfare. So we do offer Bachelors of Science in Social Work. We do offer Bachelors of Science in Nursing. Those are not direct admin programs. They're pre-nursing programs where you spend the first 2 years doing the prerequisite work, and then your junior years when you start doing the nitty-gritty nursing work at the University Hospital, which we actually do have. It's literally right across the street from main campus. It is the largest trauma hospital on Long Island. It is a Tier 4 research facility, which is a top tier research facility. It is a Tier 1 trauma center, which is a top level trauma center. So if anything goes on Long Island, everybody basically floods to Stony Brook Medicine. It is a massive presence on the island, which means that it is a great draw for a lot of students interested in professions, pre-med, nursing, anything involving the medical field, public health, etc. That's that. Also, my favorite thing, Isabel, I'm glad you sort of kind of touched on this, is study abroad. We do at Stony Brook have about 150 programs across 25 countries. You can do a semester abroad, a full year abroad, a summer abroad. The nice thing about us being part of the state system in New York is that you can actually use any other SUNY campus and use their part programs. So it kind of looks like transfer credits. So if you want to go to, let's say, Indonesia, and we don't have a program in Indonesia, but Binghamton does, you can utilize Binghamton's program through us and still have that opportunity to go into practically almost any country in the world, which is a great opportunity for all of our students. We just finished the deadline, so we're now chest deep in reading. If any of my other colleagues are also reading, we're gonna make it, it's gonna be okay. All of this will be released by April 1st, and then May 1st is the deposit deadline. We did offer early action this year. That was around October 15th for our early action deadline, that then got pushed back to about November 1st. That looks like it may be coming back. So to keep an eye out for that. Great opportunity for students to even want to get in, get an app, and get it out of the way, and not have to worry about anything. Our app is also pretty straightforward. It's on the Common App. We also have the State University of New York app, the SUNY app. Whichever is your preference. We don't prefer one or the other. We don't take extra influence doing a SUNY app or the Common App. It is entirely up to you. It's the one essay, it's one letter of recommendation, and it's your transcript through your junior year. We are a test optional institution. We will be remaining test optional long term, which is kind of nice. So if you don't like your scores, we don't have to see them. It does not impact your application whatsoever. We look at everything else to make our decisions on admissions. Put this up real quick because we are a state school, so anybody living in New York will pay a bit less. For non-residents, so for my California folks, you guys also are, it's not bad, it's not a bad cost. I know it's not great, but any student that applies is automatically considered for merit scholarships. That goes towards the cost of tuition. We really try to make the cost of attendance at Stony Brook as affordable and as accessible as possible. So we want to make sure that you guys have an opportunity to have a world-class education and not go broke getting that done. So I see that Jenny's back on, so I'm gonna wrap this up. Any other questions, feel free to shoot me an email, or you can also use enroll@stonybrook.edu. And hopefully I'll see you guys next week at the ACACs that are happening in California. So thanks, y'all.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you to all of our institutions who presented this evening. We have just a couple minutes left, so we'll do a quick Q&A session. But if we haven't answered your questions and you still have more questions, please feel free to reach out. The reps put their contact info in the chat, or you can go to their websites and contact them to get more information and get your questions answered. So I'll invite everyone back on screen now, and we'll go ahead and get started with our Q&A portion. So our first question for the evening is, what advice would you give someone going through the college search process? So you can share your nuggets of wisdom as you've, coached and seen many students through this process. What advice would you give to someone? We'll go in the same order, starting with University of Nevada, Reno.
My advice would be to really think about what your passions and interests are. I think it's really overwhelming to ask what type of major you want. That could be an easier place to start. And then maybe you can really start to branch out and see how that aligns with the specific degree pathway.
Awesome. My advice is to get out there and try to visit at least any campus that's close to you. I think having an experience of seeing a school in person, especially when students are on campus, will give you a much better idea of kind of how the whole process works.
I would say begin with the end in mind. So many students come to us junior, senior year, and they say, hey, I'm a philosophy major. What do I do? And I'm like, I don't know. What do you want to do? I would start looking at the career choices that you have and start talking to the people in that industry. See what they did, right? You may speak to a lawyer who's like, you know what? I got an English degree because I knew I wanted to be a lawyer. And so I knew that any degree would help. They may say, I got an English degree and it kind of pigeonholed me into being a lawyer. I wish I got an accounting degree so I had some options, right? Whatever it is that you want to do, start with that job, speak to those folks, then approach your advisor and say, I've spoken to some people. This is where I want to head.
Whittier, you're up next.
Okay, I'll keep it brief, but I would just say don't be afraid to reach out to the admissions staff. A lot of students think we're intimidating, but most of us are here. Obviously, we're here to help you throughout your application process, or just to answer any questions you may have. So yeah, just reach out to us, have a phone call, come check us out. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually just going to reiterate what Teresa just said. Just know that I think for almost all institutions at this point, there are admissions counselors that are assigned to work with students from your particular area. So it's a great way to make something so like abstract, like a university, have a face, have a person that you can reach out to, and you can reach out and ask questions and just have a person there rather than an institution. So as you're asking questions and want to find out more information, find out who your person is at the schools you're interested in and send an email, and we're always going to be happy to help you.
Yeah, definitely gonna acknowledge everything everybody said. All awesome students. I think for me, the biggest thing that I tell a lot of students is take your time. Don't feel like you have to make a decision right in front of the counselor that you're meeting with on that day. Take your time. These events they tend to be overwhelming. Big college fairs tend to be overwhelming. It's okay to take a bunch of information and like sit at home with it for a minute after the adrenaline has sort of kind of let out after the rush has ended, after all of like the madness and the shenanigans with your friends and sort of kind of subsided a bit, to sit with yourself and really take into some deep consideration what it is you want to do. Supposed to everyone saying, oh my God, this school is awesome. Oh my God, these guys won, you know, the national championship. Oh my God, this campus is right next door to my house. Like, take some time and really sort of kind of sit with it with yourself after everything sort of kind of hit the fan and then gone away.
Absolutely. Well, thank you everyone for all that advice. I always like to pop in and say too, to stay organized, whether that's like an Excel sheet, notebook, notes app, however you want to do it. You know, you heard from many different schools tonight. They had all had different dates and deadlines, scholarships, early action, different things. So however you can stay organized, that will help lower the stress in the process, and that way you don't miss out on, say, like free scholarship money. So stay organized, have a dedicated email for this. It's hopefully professional sounding, and that you won't have like your Sephora coupons coming in with all of your important decisions and deadlines. So that's just my piece of advice that I've seen, you know, throughout this process. But I know that we are just slightly over time. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap us up tonight. So thank you so much for joining us. When you close this window, there'll be a link to a very quick 5-question survey. So we'd appreciate any feedback that you can provide. And we encourage you to check back to the schedule, sign up for more sessions that are happening right after this one in just a couple minutes. You'll be able to find this session's recording as well as all of the other session recordings at strivescan.com/WACAC. Thanks so much for joining us, and have a great evening. Best of luck on your college search process.